coffee beans! How's it brewing? A couple weeks ago, I received the June Elves box, the June Good Vibes Elves box, and the one thing I have yet to show you guys are the Worry Stones, which I adore. I'm so excited to work with these. So, let's get started. Today I'm going to be using the Worry Stone mold that came in the Good Vibes Elves box. I'm also going to be using these little dinosaur charms that I found at Michael's. They are so cute! One of them is gold, one of them is silver, and then the other two are kind of like a pastel color. So we got pink and teal. And let me see here. We have a Stegosaurus, a Triceratops, a T-Rex, and not an Ankylosaurus, and a Parasaurolophus. I am pretty sure that that's a Parasaurolophus. Husband is like a dinosaur expert, so if I got that wrong, he's never gonna let me hear the end of it. I am also going to be using some of these gorgeous mica powders to color some of the resin, and I will put a link to everything I use down below. Plus, I will include a 10% off coupon for the Sophie and Toffee store and a $3 off coupon for your first Elves box. So if you're interested in getting started in some resin, make sure you check those out. Now, these dinosaurs are supposed to be charm bracelet charms, which would be an adorable charm bracelet, by the way, but that means it came with a little loop at the top of the dinosaur and then kind of like a clip or a clasp. So the first thing I need to do is trim that away so it looks flush. Then I actually had the exact color paints of acrylic paint and matched them for the Parasaurolophus and the Triceratops to kind of mask where I had clipped the chain. Otherwise, you could kind of see like a silver through it, and it didn't look very good. Now, these Worry Stone molds are curved. They're concave because it's supposed to be where you rub your thumb, which makes it a little difficult to get these charms to sit in here flat. So what I did is I laid out the charms around the mold to see which mold fit which dinosaur best, and then taking a little bit of UV resin, I pressed each dinosaur into the mold. This was totally successful with all of the dinosaurs except the Stegosaurus. It kept kind of sliding around and coming off of the mold, so I had a really hard time getting the dinosaur to stay in place. Now, originally I was just gonna have these dinosaurs kind of floating in the resin because I thought it would kind of look like amber or tree resin that they find mosquitoes and things in from the prehistoric times. But I thought that might look kind of weird, so then my other idea was to make them look like eggs, but then that would involve a lot of like carving and dry brushing. So what I decided to do was lay down some green moss at the bottom of each mold. So I used some of this green moss from I think it was the July Elves box from last year. It was the Floating Terrariums box or the Succulents box from last year. So I took off little tiny bits of the moss and I kind of ripped them up or cut them up, and I placed those at the bottom of each mold. And the way I got this to stay was by applying a pretty thick amount of UV resin at the bottom of the mold, and then using a toothpick I pressed in the moss, cured it, then applied some more UV resin, some more moss, and then cured it again so that I got nice thick coverage because I wanted these dinosaurs to look like they were walking on grass. I also really wanted to make sure I avoided air bubbles, which is why I added a pretty thick amount of the UV resin. Once that was all cured, I added clear UV resin in the molds for all four, and I completely filled it up. I leave just a little bit of room at the top because I'm gonna color the top. But otherwise, I completely filled it up, and I went around with my toothpick to get any of the bubbles. I also tried to use my lighter a little bit, but I couldn't hold it at the right angle without burning my fingers. So another trick I know of is to take a straw and actually blow through the straw at the bubbles, and that should pop most of the surface bubbles. I think it's the carbon dioxide? Monoxide. Me and science do not mesh. Carbon monoxide comes from cars. Carbon dioxide is your breath. And that the heat and the carbon dioxide pop the bubbles in the resin, which helps a lot when, like me, you can't get the lighter to work. This is also a good way to pop surface bubbles, but avoid damaging your molds. So I cured those for a while to make sure that they completely hardened. Then, using my mica powder, I rubbed the mica powder all over the back of the resin pieces. I did a really pretty like yellow kind of greenish color for the Triceratops. I did some sky blue for the Parasaurolophus. I did a really pretty pink for the Stegosaurus. And I did this really shimmery purple for the T-Rex. The mica powder wasn't as opaque as I thought it was going to be, so I decided to add one more really thin layer of UV resin. So what I did is I took some UV resin and mixed in some of the silvery white mica powder until I got a nice white color. And I poured that on top of each mold, but I made sure it was really, really thin because it is opaque. The UV light might have some trouble getting through the resin and curing it completely, so I just did a really thin layer. And now that these are all done, I can finally demold them, and oh my gosh, they are so cute! I am so happy with how these turned out. They look so cool! The only one that's a little messed up is the Stegosaurus, and it's because of that UV resin in the beginning to hold the Stegosaurus down, kept moving around, so there is a little bit of an air bubble. But if you're like me, you kind of like to feel a texture under your thumb. If you're a fidgeter or if you like to use worry stones, then this actually kind of worked out because the air bubble adds texture to the domed part of the worry stone. So it actually feels really neat under my thumb. Now, just to make sure these are extra cured, I did flip them over and cured them under my light again. I am in love with these. I didn't completely expect these to turn out amazing. It was kind of just an extra project that when I was walking around Michael's, I saw the little dinosaurs, and it's absolutely not what I was originally going to do. I was going to do dried flowers and 4-leaf clovers, but these dinosaurs, oh my gosh, they called to me and I had to. I'm so happy they fit inside the mold. They look so cute. If you've made any of the worry stones from the Sophie and Toffee box, I would love to see. You can tag me on Instagram @BunnyDIY. Which of these is your favorite? I think my favorite is the Parasaurolophus because I really like the pink with that sky blue color is really pretty. But the T-Rex is also really cool because the way the purple sort of layered on the back almost looks like a pillowed effect. So it almost looks like the T-Rex is laying on this like purple cloud. I don't know, it looks really neat. If you like this video and you want to see more, then make sure you subscribe. You can click the little bell to get notified of when I post. I upload videos every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you want to see where these molds came from, then make sure you check out my Sophie and Toffee Good Vibes Elves box unboxing. I'll put a link for that at the end of this video so you can check it out. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Love you, a latte.